So much for TONEWOOD. Hey everybody, Jace Allen here. Welcome back to the channel. So I'm a little late to the party on this particular guitar. This is called the Pearson Hyper-B Special Gen 5. It's a headless guitar and it's made out of metal. So the folks at Pearson Instruments had reached out to me a while ago and asked if I'd like to review this guitar. These guitars are coming from New Zealand. So I said, sure, go ahead and send it, and then I didn't hear back from them. But then, a few weeks ago, got another email from them, said they apologize for getting back to me so late. They were just, I guess, sending them out and seeing how things were going, and then they finally got around to sending me one of their guitars. So we're gonna check it out in this video and see what all the hype is about. Let's go over the specs real quick. So they're calling this a skeletonized frame or body. The model is the Pearson Hyper-B Special Gen 5, and it's got 24 stainless steel frets. The body is made from 4mm 5052 aluminum. Neckwood is roasted maple. Fretboard is rosewood. Stainless steel medium jumbo frets with the ball ends. Fretboard radius is 12 inches with a modern C shape. The thickness at the first fret is 21.5 millimeters, which is 0.846. That would be the neck thickness, not the neck width. Thickness at the 12th fret is 23 millimeters or 0.90 inches. Like I said, 24 frets, 25.5 inch scale length, bone nut. Nut width is 42 millimeters, which is 1.653 inches. Silver dot inlays, white side markers. One volume, one tone, three-way blade switch, two mini toggles, so it has coil split for each pickup, two pneumatic bridge, locking tuners, the spoked wheel truss rod adjustment, and then there's a control cover that is either acrylic or aluminum. We'll see which one this is. And then it looks like they have their own pickups. They're called Pearson A2 Vintage Output Alnico 2. This is the neck, 7.0K. Humbucker, and in the bridge is a Pearson A2 Vintage Output Alnico 2 8.1K humbucker. Pots are A500K full size, made in Korea, with a capacitor on the tone and coil split. Three-way switch, as we said, 1/4 inch jack, of course. Okay, so let's get to unboxing it. It's actually in pieces, I guess, so we're gonna have to put it together before we can demo it, so let's get to it. So this is it. Comes in a pretty small box, and a box within a box. Although I think it'd be pretty hard to damage this guitar in shipping. So we have parts as parts. Okay, bag of strings and some screws. Okay, these are probably for the neck. Screws for the neck, a couple Allen wrenches for assembly, and probably for adjustment as well. And then, okay, so then everything else is right here. So maybe it's just the neck and the body separate. Oh, nice. Ooh, that's pretty. So there's the neck. Nice rosewood fretboard, perfect fret ends. Bone nut, little metal piece on the end there, so your strings go in through that with the ball ends here. Okay, so it is assembled. I thought it was all unassembled. Maybe they put this one together. I swear I saw somebody's review where they took it, where they had to put it together, but I don't know, maybe not. Maybe this is just one that they had sent somebody already. I don't know. Interesting, very interesting. It's heavy. Okay, so there's, oh, Wilkinson bridge. So the two pneumatic bridge is Wilkinson. It's really nice. So let me kind of explain what we got going on here. This is, so we've got two humbuckers mounted. This is all aluminum and it's all smooth. I mean, it's, people were saying, oh, you're going to cut yourself on it. No, it's all smooth. It's all polished. You know, the edges are smooth. So you got your two humbuckers. Here's your control panel here. So your 1/4 inch jack here, your tone and volume knobs, three-way, ooh, that's a nice switch. and then these little toggles, which is your split coil for each humbucker has a split. And then it's basically got just regular tuners, but they're mounted in the tail end of it. So you don't have those weird, you know, tiny. So we'll put the neck on it and then string it up. So the neck just, there's no pocket, it just sits right on top. That's kind of interesting. So anyway, they give you an Allen wrench, and these neck screws they have an Allen head on them. So you don't need any additional tools. So that's it. It just screws on the back, and then you take the Allen key and tighten it down. So there you go. So there's the guitar. This is nice. This is one thing I have sort of a beef with the Donner, like the Donner and the, well, actually those are the only two headless guitars I've played, is the Donner Hush, is that they don't set in your lap good. This one sits in your lap good. It's got a cutout right here that your leg goes into, so you can, I mean, you still got to hold it up, but it, you know, and then it's got a, you know, a regular cutout here where if you're going to play it more like a, that's actually pretty comfortable. So either way, I like that. And it seems pretty balanced too. So there's a strap button here and a strap button here. So that's kind of an awkward spot for the strap button here. I use the rock lock, so I won't be able to use that on here. Okay, so string it up. This is going to be interesting. So your strings go in from the top on this particular guitar. And the fact that it has the locking tuners should make it pretty easy to tune up, because then you don't have to wind too much string on the post. Stanley's going to check this out. So it's a little cumbersome to get your fat fingers in here to tighten that down. And I assume, oh, okay, we're going to want to wind it the other way. So yeah, so it's a little weird. Hey, that's my guitar string there, dude. Don't run off with it. Hey, come back. Everybody's a critic. Yeah, this is weird too. There's nothing. So oh yeah. So the strings come right off the bridge and go down to the post. And the way that angle is, that's kind of awkward. Did you bring it back? You did. Thank you. But you can't you can't play with those, dude. I don't have anything for you to play with. Why don't you go here? Here, play with this. Play with that. Here, look, look. I know, you don't want to play with that. It's not interesting enough. Here, ready? There you go. And getting in to these tuners is a little cumbersome too, because there's this little plate on the back here that sticks out. So getting in there with your fingers is a little dicey, because these tuners on this side are actually farther apart from each other than the three on this side. These are closer together, so getting in there to turn them for my fat sausages, that's a little tough. Okay, there we go, all strung up. So we'll talk a little bit about the bridge and the angle of the strings in a little bit. Okay, finally got it tuned up. So, you know, sort of getting your fingers in here to use the tuners when you've got it set down. Maybe if it's on your lap or you're setting it on a bench, to tune things up is a little cumbersome. But once you have it strung up and everything, it's actually pretty easy to reach the tuners. One thing I will say right off the bat is I keep catching my arm on the sharp ends of the strings here, because depending on where you know, let your arm fall. See, ow, I just caught it on that one, sticking up. So that's not cool. So that's a little bit of a weird thing. So you definitely want to bend your string ends down so you're not catching your arm. That's better. I mean, the ones in the bottom aren't so, you know, but they you know, stick up, so you might want to make sure you push those down, because that's, ouch. All right, let's talk about how it sounds. We'll play some tones here. Let me weigh it real quick. 6.3 pounds. Clip-on tuner works fine. Let's see, what else can we say about it real quick off the bat? Truss rod wheel is here. Neck is straight, so I mean, you shouldn't need to adjust it. It seems to be set up really well once they strung it up. Just them sharp string ends is a little concerning, and then the way the string, you've got different lengths, you know, that the strings reach out, so then the break angle of these strings is all different. This one in the middle, but I don't know, a lot of people talk about break angle on Les Pauls with Tunematics, and that's why a lot of people do the top wrapping and all that stuff. I don't really know what all that stuff is, but I mean, you've got three different break angles on the strings coming off the bridge. So whether that's an issue or not, I don't know. So we'll do, I'm just going into my audio interface. Full volume, full tone, bridge position, humbucker. I think it sounds pretty good. And when I first plugged it in, the pickup seemed pretty dark, so you'll definitely have to mess with the EQ on your amp or your pedals or whatever you're going into. Okay, and then middle. Bit of buzzing. I noticed it on the A. That could be the height of the bridge. Low E is 2 millimeters. High E is 1.5 millimeters. So it's right about where it should be. Okay, and then this is the neck pickup. All right, so let's try the split coil. And then the middle. And then the bridge. That sounds really good. It's got that nice single coil sound to it. All right, let's put some distortion on it. We'll go back to the humbuckers. Middle. And the bridge. Okay, let's switch over to the single coil. Sounds good. And oh, that's the bridge, sorry. This is the middle. And bridge. Okay, it's several days later since I shot the original review on this guitar. I think I struggled a little bit with that video. I don't know if I just wasn't in the right mindset to make a guitar review, or if it was just that this particular guitar was kind of frustrating me. The strings are obviously new, and so tuning it up and getting the tuning stability to level off once the strings were all stretched out, that certainly helped. So I was struggling with that a little bit, but then there's some other sort of minor issues that were kind of frustrating me a little bit, and that is that there's some buzz. I don't know if you can hear it, maybe up. Particularly this A, a little bit on the D. But I don't think it's fret buzz. There's something like, it almost sounds like something loose somewhere, something's vibrating. And that was throwing me off, but then when I listened back to the recording that I did of the audio samples, you couldn't hear that at all, so that really wasn't an issue. And then another issue was it kept feeling to me, at least from my ears, that the G and the B were so much quieter than the other strings in the, amplified. But then when I listened back to the recording, they sounded fine. So I had all these things going on in my head to where I couldn't really feel like I was giving an honest review. So I don't know, so it was frustrating me, but some of the things I said, like the string ends sticking up, I did scratch myself on one of the strings sticking up. That was kind of probably put me in a bad mindset too. So some of the criticisms I have of it are valid, but when I was playing it, I didn't get, because I I was a lot more critical about how it sounded until I listened to the playback, I guess is what I'm saying. So when I played back the recordings, I didn't hear any of the buzz. I didn't hear any of the inconsistencies with the, the G and the B string. So then you get in your head and you're like, well, what's going on? What am I hearing? Why? So then I decided to just put it down, come back to it. Oh, and then another thing I did, I sat down with it for a while and played it once the strings were stretched out. So what are my final thoughts on this guitar? Well, it's cool. It looks cool. It's definitely comfortable to play seated. It's small. You could probably travel with it. The pickups, I think, sound great. Like the title of the video suggests, so much for TONEWOOD. I mean, here you go. This is a completely, well, not completely. I mean, the neck is wood, but the body is metal. I mean, it's almost like there is no body to it, and it still sounds like a guitar. It sounds really good. The split coil, I think, sounded good. The three-way switch is good. It's got full-size pots in it, I guess. So, but a couple things that I kind of am annoyed by this down here, the way the tuning is. The fact that the tuning keys are pretty close together on this side. The fact that the string ends stick out if you don't bend them down, and you can catch yourself on it. And then you tend to grab a guitar from the bottom. So I always feel like I'm bumping these, the tuning keys. So you have a tendency to bump them out of tune. Other than that, I think it's cool. It's a great guitar. Price tag is about $800. I mean, there's a lot of aluminum in here. Aluminum is not cheap, and it's coming from New Zealand. So if you're anywhere other than New Zealand, then you're going to have to incur some shipping charges. So it's definitely unique. It's definitely kind of cool. I think it sounds good. I'm not sure that it's necessarily my cup of tea, because I like, boomer guitars. I'm not a boomer, but I do like boomer guitars because that's what I grew up playing and listening to and wanting. So, yeah. And then the only other thing was that maybe they should have a bar here to hold the strings so that they're all even. I don't know if that has anything, because a lot of people talk about break angle when it comes to the bridge on like a Les Paul style guitar. I don't know. I don't know anything about that. All I know is that these are all, there's 3 or 4 different angles going on here. So I don't know if that impacts tuning stability or not. And then I noticed that the low E is pretty dang close to the edge of the fretboard, where the high E is really far away. So a couple times I accidentally pulled the low E off the fretboard. So, but yeah, I mean, other than that, I don't know. It's kind of cool. So there you go. The Pearson Hyper-B headless aluminum guitar. So appreciate the folks at Pearson for sending it out, and appreciate everybody for tuning in. Jay Salon Guitar. We'll see you next time. Hello, son. Hey, no. Hey, come on. You're gonna have to go upstairs.
Something in the way I'm feeling.
Come on, boy. Let go of that. Let go. No. Let go. Let go.
Sunshine. I feel better in the pouring rain. Find it hard to step outside with all these thoughts running through my mind.
Say goodbye, Stan. Say goodbye.